The slap came out of nowhere. Chibuza! Vanessa Kingsley, rich, angry, and allergic to nonsense, stood shaking with rage. You again, she barked, glaring at the old dirty woman blocking her path. Mama Eloise staggered back, her wig doing backstroke, her bag flying like it wanted to resign from the situation. Madam, move now, Vanessa shouted, chest rising like generator engine. Are you blind or just slow? Phones were already recording. Security started whispering. Nobody knew Vanessa had just slapped the wrong old woman, because a powerful figure had just alighted from a private jet that would change everything. But Vanessa didn't know it yet, because trouble had just clocked in, and it was wearing wrapper. So, my people, carry your seat closer. This gist no be ordinary gist. Press subscribe sharply, because the full story you're about to watch will shake your spirit. Let's roll.
On an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in Victoria Island, when the Lagos sun was shining like it had personal beef with human beings, something happened that made even the hawkers pause mid pure water. In front of Crystal Crest Mall, the crowd was thick. People carried shopping bags, children were licking ice cream and staining their shirts, and security guards stood around doing their best impression of seriousness. Then, out of nowhere, the entire atmosphere froze. A hot, resounding slap tore through the air like thunder on a dry day. Heads turned instantly. Phones came out immediately, because in Lagos, before you say Jack, someone is already recording for TikTok. In the centre of the sudden commotion stood a woman, tall, elegant, glowing like her skin drank shea butter and confidence for breakfast. Her name was Vanessa Kingsley, 30 years old, founder of her own interior design brand. Money dripping from her aura, long wavy human hair wig flowing like river, fitted emerald green dress hugging her curves, heels so sharp they could cut onions, gold earrings shining like they were looking for attention. She wasn't just pretty, she was expensive. And at that very moment, she was boiling. In front of her, sitting on the floor, stunned, was an elderly woman, around 90, slim, with soft wrinkles, faded Ankara blouse, and slippers that looked like they had survived both the Civil War and Nipah frustration. Her grey hair was tied into a tiny scarf. Her cheek was already turning red. The old woman blinked slowly, shocked. "How dare you walk up to me like that?" Vanessa snapped, her voice slicing through the silence. The old woman raised her hands gently. "Don't daughter me!" Vanessa barked. "Do I look like your mate?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. One man whispered, "Omo, Wahala don't start." Another woman muttered, "This Lagos will not kill me." The old woman's voice trembled with confusion. "I was just passing, my dear. I only asked." "Ah, she even has mouth to talk?" Vanessa scoffed, turning dramatically to the onlookers. "Can you imagine? This woman walked up to me asking if I could help her carry her bag." "Her bag? Me, Vanessa Kingsley? Do I look like a porter?" The old woman shook her head painfully. "No, my daughter, I didn't ask you to carry." Vanessa raised her hand again as if she wanted to slap the air. "Keep quiet. You followed me from inside the mall. You were staring at me like you wanted something. I know your type," pretending to be harmless. A young guy in a hoodie stepped forward. "Madam, I beg, calm down. This woman, no, do anything. She only asked for direction. I was even beside..." Vanessa's eyes flashed dangerously. "So you're her lawyer? Please shift. If she's your grandmother, say it with your chest." The crowd chuckled. An elderly man added gently, "My dear, the woman was not disturbing you." But Vanessa hissed, "Everybody wants to advise me today." "Wonderful." She looked the old woman up and down with irritated disgust. "Look at you. Your gown is torn. Your slippers are begging for retirement. And you dare to come close to me? Why? Do you know how much this dress costs? Do you know how many zeros are in my account?" The old woman lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry if..." "There is no if!" Vanessa shouted. "Poor people should know their boundaries." The crowd murmured in shock. A woman with jella spoke angrily. "You don't talk to elders like that." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Auntie, please, shift your jelly and let me breathe." The The jelly woman gasped dramatically. Even the mall security guard approached, frowning. "What is happening here, madam?" Vanessa pointed at the old woman like she was pointing at an expired product. "She was harassing me." The guard looked at the old woman lovingly. "Mama, she touch you?" The old woman sighed. "No, my son. She slapped me." "Ah!" The whole crowd chorused. Vanessa flicked her hair proudly. She deserved it. Phones were already recording from every angle. The old woman held her palms together, voice trembling, not with anger but with pain. "My daughter, I only asked you for help. I'm trying to find my way to Oniru. I got lost." "Then ask Google Maps," Vanessa barked. "Am I your navigation app?" Someone in the crowd snorted loudly. Another laughed. "Abeg, leave me, oh!" But the old woman didn't laugh. She swallowed her pain and stepped aside, her shoulders sinking as if life had pushed her down one too many times. "Thank you all," she whispered softly. "I will find my way myself." Her voice carried a sadness that quieted even the loudest gossipers. Vanessa strutted toward her car, a shiny white Lexus SUV, feeling victorious, like she had just won Proud Woman of the Year. Her driver opened the door with shaky hands. He had seen drama, but this one was premium. Vanessa slid into the vehicle, slammed the door, and the SUV zoomed off. The crowd slowly dispersed. A kind woman approached the old woman. "Mama, sorry, En. Some people don't know that tomorrow is bigger than today." Another added, "She no suppose slap you at all." But the old woman only smiled faintly. "Don't worry, my children. I am used to people looking at me this way." She walked slowly to a bench outside the mall and sat down. Her hands shook slightly as she adjusted her wrapper. Her eyes glistened with tears she refused to let fall. Nobody knew who she really was. Nobody knew her story. Nobody knew that life was about to flip, and the proud woman who slapped her would soon meet a shock that would scatter her engagement, her confidence, and her entire reputation. Sometimes, the person you look down on is the one looking down at you from the top. 45 minutes after the chaos at Crystal Crest Mall, Vanessa's white Lexus SUV glided into the driveway of her family's mansion in Victoria Island, Lagos. The type of house that made neighbours greet from far but gossip from near. Tall black steel gates slid open automatically like they recognised their owner. The walls were painted a smooth cream and white blend. A miniature fountain sat in the middle of the yard, water dancing like it had no bills to pay. Fresh flowers lined the walkway, arranged so perfectly they looked allergic to dust. Vanessa stepped out of the SUV like the runway had been moved to her compound. Her driver, George, staggered behind her with 10 shopping bags that looked like they weighed more than his life savings. Her high heels clicked on the stone tiles like they were insulting the floor. The moment she pushed open the front door, cool air from the AC kissed her like, "Welcome home, rich woman." Shiny marble tiles reflected her image. From the living room, a gentle voice floated out. "Vanessa, my daughter, you're back?" It was her mother, Mrs. Clarissa Kingsley, a woman in her late 50s, graceful, soft-spoken and calm like evening breeze. She wore an elegant lace wrapper and blouse, head tie folded neatly behind. She had the kind of face strangers trusted automatically. Vanessa, however, was her opposite. Her own perfume smelled like confidence mixed with pepper. "Yes, Mum," Vanessa replied, dropping a handbag on the leather couch like it offended her. Clarissa stood from the sofa, worry already forming in her eyes. "How was Crystal Crest Mall? Did you see anything nice?" Vanessa rolled her eyes and kicked off her heels. One flew slightly and George dived to catch it like a goalkeeper. "Mummy, the shopping was fine, but something very annoying happened." Her mother's eyebrows lifted. "Talk to me. What happened?" Vanessa exhaled dramatically like she was narrating a national tragedy. "One old, wrinkled, poorly dressed woman was following me around, and not the fine old woman type. Oh, this one looked like she fought with life and life won." Clarissa blinked slowly. "And then?" "I confronted her now. I asked her why she was following me. Next thing, she started lying with confidence, saying she wasn't looking at me. Vanessa waved her hand in annoyance. Mummy, can you imagine? She stared at me like she was judging my destiny. So I handled it. Clarissa's eyes narrowed. Handled it? How? I gave her one hot slap. Silence hit the room. Clarissa froze. The air conditioner hummed like it was gossiping. You what? Mummy, please calm down. I slapped her small. She won't die. That's how they learn respect. Clarissa placed her hand on her chest like her heart needed reassurance. Vanessa Kingsley, you slapped an elderly woman? Someone old enough to bless you or curse you? Vanessa scoffed. Mummy, that woman isn't anybody's blessing. She's just poor and rude. Clarissa looked at her daughter the way Nigerian mothers look when they realize their prayers need to be upgraded. My daughter, money has finished your humility. Vanessa rolled her eyes again. Here we go. No, let me talk. Clarissa stepped forward. That woman you slapped, she has a name, a family, a story. Old age is not a crime. Poverty is not a disease. You don't treat people like trash. Mummy, please, that woman could be an angel or a test. You don't know what she has been through. You don't know what she has survived. Clarissa pointed a finger at her. And you don't slap an elder just because you can. Vanessa hissed softly and grabbed her handbag. Mummy, I beg, I'm tired. I don't have strength for sermon. Clarissa sighed deeply. Pride will humble you one day. I just pray it will not be too late when you learn. Vanessa didn't answer. She climbed the stairs with the arrogance of someone who believed her life could never go wrong. Clarissa remained downstairs, whispering her prayer like a mother who had seen tomorrow before her child. God, soften my daughter's heart. Her pride is too loud. Help her before world humbles her. Meanwhile, far across the city, hidden behind towering walls, CCTV cameras, electric fences, and 2 security dogs with trust issues, stood the Dianthus estate, the kind of mansion people only entered with invitation or courage. Inside, everything glowed, polished Italian marble floors, chandeliers shining like they were competing with the sun, imported furniture and art pieces people looked at but didn't understand. In the main living room sat a handsome young man in his early 30s, calm, reserved, and dangerously attractive. His name was Damien Rivers, CEO of an international tech company. Rich enough to buy a small village and still have change. Powerful enough to shut down a city's network if he sneezed wrong. He stared at his laptop, reading through business reports like someone allergic to rest. The quietness was interrupted when the main door opened. A pair of worn black slippers shuffled inside. Damien lifted his head. An elderly woman stepped in, grey hair tied loosely, face tired, wrapper old and faded, slippers almost begging for retirement. But when she entered her mansion, she carried herself with pride. This was the same old woman Vanessa had slapped. Her name was Mama Eloise, and she was Damien's mother. Damien sprang to his feet. Mummy, you went out again? Mama Eloise nodded weakly and sank into the sofa. Yes, my son. I went. Damien frowned. Mummy, why are you stressing yourself? You don't have to walk around Lagos dressed like someone struggling. You have everything here. You don't need to be outside trekking under sun. Mama Eloise chuckled softly. You think wealth washes away memory? You think money can cure pain? Damien sat beside her, confused. Mummy, what is going on? Mama Eloise looked at him with eyes full of wisdom and scars. Damien, you know I wasn't born with money. Damien nodded quietly. You remember how your father abandoned me? She asked softly. Damien's jaw tightened. I remember. Papa Rivers had left when Damien was 3, ran away with a younger woman because Eloise had no class, although life punished him later. But the scars remained. Mama Eloise continued. People mocked me, Damien. They called me names. They treated me like trash. I raised you alone. I worked day and night. I suffered in places I don't even want to remember. Her voice cracked. People respect money, not humans. Damien swallowed hard. Yes, Mummy, but why pretend to be poor? She leaned closer. Because I want to find the woman who will love you from her heart, not from your bank account. A good woman respects everyone, rich or poor, she sighed. But today, I met one girl. Lord have mercy. Damien looked up. What happened? Mama Eloise pressed her palm to her cheek, still reddish. One fine girl, dressed like she was going for Richest Daughter award, slapped me. Damien froze. What? Someone slapped you? Yes-o, she used her full hand. Very disrespectful. And she insulted me, Join. Damien clenched his jaw, anger rising. Mummy? What's her name? Mama Eloise shrugged casually. I know, but her wahala is coming from front. Life will soon humble that girl like jollof rice humbles tomatoes. Damien shook his head. Mummy, stop going out like this. Anything could happen. Mama Eloise smiled sadly. What will happen has already happened, my son. All that's left is revelation. She stood up slowly and walked toward her room. One day you will see the woman you're meant to marry, and you will know her, not by beauty, not by money, but by her heart. Damien watched her walk away, torn between anger and worry. 4 full weeks walk her past like pure water cellar on a hot Tuesday afternoon. Life returned to its normal madness in Victoria Island. Vanessa Kingsley, Miss Billionaire Interior Designer, Miss Aesthetic Queen, focused on her brand Veek Designs, decorating luxury homes like her life depended on it. Damien Rivers, somewhere across the island, continued running his tech empire with the calmness of a man who could buy half of Lagos and still complain about traffic. And Mama Eloise, the old woman that Vanessa had embarrassed at Crystal Crest Mall? She continued her undercover mission, strolling around the city in her disguise, looking like she had fought poverty and poverty won, observing how people treated ordinary humans. She had one mission: find the woman with a good heart for her billionaire son, Damien. But that afternoon, Lagos decided to send drama. A gold-plated envelope arrived at the Kingsley mansion. Thick, shiny, screaming money from the gate. Inside was the invitation: the Lagos Elite Gala? Annual gathering of billionaires and national bigheads. The kind of event where people attend just to compare wristwatches and pretend they don't like showing off. Vanessa saw the invitation and screamed like someone who just won free Dubai vacation. Her stylist nearly fainted from excitement, her makeup artist started planning new techniques, and her hairdresser was already asking, Madam Vanessa, do you want Hollywood curls or Lagos traffic curls? Vanessa did not even reply. She was too busy planning how to outshine every woman alive. After trying on what felt like 43 dresses, Vanessa finally picked a wine-red gown dripping in crystals, hugging her shape like it was designed by angels. Her heels, imported. Her jewellery, richer than some people's fathers. She checked herself in the mirror and smiled. Perfect, they will fear me tonight. Clarissa Kingsley, her calm, elegant mother, wore a simple navy dress with pearl earrings. Mama was not in any competition. She believed humility was more attractive than designer madness. The gala venue, the Golden Royale Hotel, shone like a palace. The entrance was lit up with fairy lights and enough decorations to blind a person temporarily. There was a long red carpet, photographers everywhere, and socialites posing like mannequins. Vanessa stepped out of the car like a queen arriving to collect her throne. Cameras went wild. Vanessa, over here, over here! She posed. She smiled. She stretched her hand like she owned the entire Nigeria. Behind her, Clarissa walked gently, greeting people with warm smiles. Inside the ballroom, the place looked like heaven had paid for extra decoration. Crystal chandeliers, gold table settings, live band playing soft, jazzy Afrobeats, waiters gliding around like ballerinas. Vanessa walked through the hall like Lagos traffic had parted for her alone. She waved at familiar faces, laughed too loudly, threw compliments like confetti, and made sure all eyes remained on her. Meanwhile, at the Rivers mansion, Damien Rivers stood in front of his mirror adjusting his tuxedo. The man looked dangerously handsome, the type that makes women behave wrongly. Beside him stood Mama Eloise. No disguise tonight. Tonight she looked like the queen she actually was. Elegant silver gown, perfect hair. Her aura alone could intimidate a corrupt politician. You're shining, Mama, Damien said with a small smile. My son, when you have suffered before, you must enjoy dressing well now, she replied with sarcasm. They left in Damien's sleek black Maybach. Arrival at the gala. When Damien and Mama Eloise arrived at the gala, they stepped onto the red carpet. Photographers nearly injured each other. The pair looked powerful, like royalty. Inside the ballroom, people greeted them with respect. Business moguls bowed slightly. Politicians adjusted their ties. Women whispered, but Mama Eloise wasn't checking any of them. Her eyes scanned the crowd like a security camera. Then she saw her. Vanessa Kingsley, Crystal Crest Mall slapper-in-chief. Madam, don't talk to me if you're not sparkling. Vanessa was at the drink table terrorizing a young waiter. For the last time, she snapped. I said sparkling water. Sparkling. Not this borehole water you brought. Are you allergic to good service? The waiter trembled. I'm sorry, Ma. Let me change it to Med. Better hurry, Vanessa said, rolling her eyes. I didn't come here to babysit incompetence. Mama Eloise's face hardened. Her jaw shifted. Clearly, the girl learned nothing, she muttered. Later, Vanessa spotted Damien across the room. Her eyes widened. Ah! See, fine man with money. God has finally remembered me. She adjusted her dress, flicked her hair dramatically, and walked toward him like a runway model. Damien, she purred. Damien turned. Vanessa, good evening. Good evening, handsome, she said, tilting her head. It's been too long. She touched his arm slightly. She smiled like she rehearsed in the mirror. I've missed talking to you. You know, I feel like we'd make a great pair. Mama Eloise watched all this with slow-burning annoyance. Actress, she whispered. Movie star without movie. After the gala, on the drive home, Damien noticed Mama Eloise was unusually quiet. Mama, what is it? Mama Eloise didn't look at him. Who was that girl you were talking to? You mean Vanessa? Yes. She runs an interior design empire. She's smart, beautiful, seems interested in me. Mama Eloise clicked her tongue loudly. My son, she said, shine your eyes. Some people talk sweet, but their heart is full of pepper soup with too much spice. Hot and dangerous. Damien laughed. Mama, I'll be careful. Mama Eloise didn't laugh. Eloise didn't daze. Vanessa moved fast. She called Damien every morning. She sent cute texts like, hope you slept well, followed by, are you thinking of me? Followed by, Damien, are you ignoring me? Sis wasn't playing. She took him to luxury restaurants, bought expensive gifts, and threw her full charm into the mission. Damien enjoyed her company. She was gorgeous. She was bold. She was fun. But Mama Eloise? She watched from a distance. Her spirit didn't settle. Something didn't add up, and she wasn't wrong because New Wahala was quietly loading. One sunny afternoon in Victoria Island, Vanessa Kingsley was feeling like the main character of her own movie. Her hair was bouncing, her perfume was fighting for dominance with the car's AC, and her white Lexus was gliding through the city like royalty. She was humming one soft, sweet tune when her phone buzzed. It was Damien calling. Vanessa, I want you to meet someone special today, he said, sounding both excited and nervous. Vanessa's heart skipped. Special as in pastor? Doctor? Ex-girlfriend? Fiancé? She asked dramatically. Damien chuckled. Relax, it's my mother. Vanessa froze for half a second. Oh, she cleared her throat. Yes, now. Of course, I would love to meet her. Why not? Mother-in-law preview. Damien blinked. Vanessa, we've only been dating for 3 weeks. She isn't yet mother-in-law. She's just my mother. 3 weeks is enough, she replied, flipping her braids. Love moves fast. At the Rivers mansion, they drove to Rivers estate, a compound so large that even the gates had gates. When they entered, Vanessa almost whistled. Everything was shining. Even the flowers looked rich. Inside the living room sat Mama Eloise, dressed in her usual flowing wrapper, hairnet, and reading glasses. The classy type, not the old mama in the village type. She lifted her head as Vanessa walked in. Good afternoon, Ma, Vanessa said with a sweet smile so soft it could melt pure gold. It's such a privilege to meet you. Mama Eloise studied her, and studied again. Vanessa didn't blink. Damien introduced them, beaming. Vanessa complimented everything. The sofa, the curtains, the chandelier, even the painting of a goat climbing a mountain. It is deep, she said. Damien laughed at his own jokes. Vanessa laughed louder. Mama Eloise did not laugh at all. Oh, she smiled, yes. But the smile Nigerian mothers give when they are observing your destiny. When Vanessa finally stood to leave, she curtsied dramatically. Thank you, Ma. I hope to see you again soon. Mama Eloise nodded slowly. Only the dangerous type. After she left, Damien was eager. Mama, what do you think? Mama Eloise adjusted her glasses and inhaled deeply. She's polite, she said simply. That's good now, Damien replied. Yes, she continued, polite like someone rehearsing for a school drama competition. Damien blinked. Mummy? I don't trust her, Mama Eloise said plainly. There's something about that girl. My spirit is scratching me. Damien frowned. Mummy, please, don't start. You don't even know her. Mama Eloise smiled slowly, calmly, the kind of smile that means I know more than you think. My son, you will not like what I discovered. Damien sighed. Mummy, please, don't overthink. I'm not a child anymore. I know, but I am still your mother, she said, lowering her voice, and I will protect you whether you like it or not. Damien shook his head and walked out. Mama Eloise remained on her seat, quiet, motionless, but her mind was running like Lagos traffic at rush hour. She knew what she had to do. 3 days later, the mansion gate opened quietly. Out stepped Mama Eloise, but not as Mama Eloise. Oh no, she wore an oversized faded wrapper, slippers that had clearly fought life battles, and a headscarf that looked older than Nipa. She dusted powder on her face until she looked like she had trekked from Ibadan. Everyone she passed whispered, "Who is this old woman? Where did she appear from?" She took an Okada, gave the rider £1,000 for a 300 ride, and he almost dismantled the motorcycle in excitement. Mama Eloise didn't care. She had mission. She entered a small cafe in Victoria Island, sat by the window, and ordered a cup of Lipton. Then she waited. 20 minutes later, Vanessa strolled in. Designer sunglasses, expensive handbag, perfume that could announce her from 3 streets away. She sat and placed her phone on the table with the confidence of someone placing trailer papers on a small car owner's windscreen. Mama Eloise observed silently. Vanessa ordered food, then waited and waited. When her order finally arrived, she looked at the plate as if the waiter brought doom. "What took you people so long?" she snapped. The waiter clasped his hands. Please, the kitchen." "Kitchen? Kitchen is your excuse? I've been sitting here for almost 30 minutes. Are you running a restaurant or a retirement home?" People turned to look. Vanessa did not care. "You people are too slow, I beg. I can buy this whole cafe if I want." The waiter walked away quietly. Mama Eloise's face changed to that slow nod Nigerian mothers give when they have confirmed their suspicion. She stood up, dropped money for her tea, and left without saying a word. That night, Damien was in the living room when Mama Eloise entered with that "we need to talk now" face. "My son," she said firmly, "that girl is not good for you." Damien groaned. "Mummy, please. Keep quiet and listen." Her voice was calm, too calm. "I tested her," she continued. "I watched her. She treats people badly. She is proud, rude, disrespectful. She talks to people as if she created them." Damien shook his head. "Mummy, it's not true. You're being paranoid. She will love your money, not you," Mama Eloise warned. Damien picked his car keys. "I can't do this." He walked out. Mama Eloise stood still, heart heavy, but her plans did not change. If her son wouldn't protect himself, she would protect him for him. 3 weeks later, social media exploded like Christmas fireworks. Damien Rivers and Vanessa Kingsley officially engaged. Instagram was on fire. Twitter was melting. TikTok was shaking. Vanessa posted pictures, videos, slow motion entries, inspirational captions, everything. Her mother, Clarissa Kingsley, smiled for photos, but deep inside, something was eating her spirit. Preparations began for the engagement at Crystal Crest Grand Hall, a venue so expensive that even the air inside smells rich. Hundreds of white roses, chandeliers like falling stars, live band, security everywhere. Vanessa looked like a princess sprayed with money. Pastel gown, sparkling diamonds, makeup so smooth it could confuse angels. Damien stood beside her, handsome and proud. Mama Eloise stayed near the entrance, watching like a general inspecting soldiers. Everything was perfect. Everyone was smiling. Then, just when the MC was about to announce their grand entrance, something happened. Something nobody in that room was expecting. Something that would shake Victoria Island that. A sound pierced the hall. Cop, cop, cop footsteps. Slow, loud, dramatic. The kind of footsteps Nollywood uses when the villain is about to confess. Heads turned, gasps spread Wi-Fi. A figure moved across the marble floor, an elderly woman in a faded Ankara wrapper that had clearly been present to the discovery of fire. Her slippers were hanging by faith. Her hair? Scatter, scatter. She looked like she fought with the Harmattan breeze and lost the battle. Security escorts stared at her the way Nigerians look at someone who obviously doesn't belong. "Madam, I beg, this place no be for you," one security man whispered, embarrassed on her behalf. But the old woman, Mama Eloise, kept walking like she owned the whole building, which, ironically, she kind of did. Vanessa was greeting guests, smiling beautifully, enjoying all the attention, until she heard murmurs. She turned. Her smile evaporated like Nipa light during rain. Her heart did a backflip. Her mouth fell open. Jesus, is that not— Yes, it was the same scruffy old woman Vanessa had insulted, manhandled and threatened at Crystal Crest Mall weeks ago. She hissed, dropped her wine glass and marched toward her like a soldier ready for battle. Her heels were clapping against the floor like drumbeats announcing danger. You? Again? Vanessa snapped. What kind of monitoring spirit are you? Who let you in? Mama Eloise stared at her with soft eyes, calm, quiet, peaceful, like someone who knew this moment was coming. Vanessa wasn't done. You think because you begged for money outside the mall, you can follow me to my engagement? Madam, respect yourself and carry your poverty outside before I disgrace you. The shock in the room was loud. People froze. Some even bent their head like, God, I beg, don't let this turn to fight. Mama Eloise kept quiet. She didn't argue. She didn't insult back. She didn't even blink. And that annoyed Vanessa more. This is an elegant event, Vanessa barked. This place is for invited people only, not for roadside leftovers. The crowd gasped again. Damien rushed in. Baby, what is happening? This old woman is stalking me, Vanessa shouted. Arrest her! Drag her out! She doesn't belong here! Mama Eloise's silence remained unbroken. Her calmness made Vanessa look unhinged. The security men gently held Mama Eloise's arm, ready to escort her outside. Vanessa flipped her hair and smiled proudly. Good. Carry her out before she infects the air, the crowd murmured. Some shook their heads. Some whispered, Chai! This girl get bad mouth. But Vanessa didn't care. After all, this was her night, or so she thought. A few minutes after the old dirty woman left, suddenly, whop, 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 whop! A helicopter landing on the roof of Crystal Crest Mall. The entire building trembled. Cameras came out. Guests screamed excitedly. Vanessa practically exploded with joy. Oh my God, that must be my mother-in-law, Shashi shouted, bouncing like a child. She arrived in a helicopter. Did you all see that? My in-law is a whole billionaire. She spread her arms like she owned the world. People clapped politely. Then the footsteps came. Slow, commanding, royal. A figure appeared at the top of the staircase. Mama Eloise. Not in rags. Oh no. She wore a shimmering gold gown that could blind the sun. Her grey hair was styled into a neat bun. Her makeup was soft and elegant. She looked like the Queen of Victoria Island. The same Mama Eloise that Vanessa just called roadside leftover. Vanessa's brain simply malfunctioned. Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. My God, my mother-in-law is beautiful. Mama Eloise walked to the microphone, gave the audience a gentle smile, and began. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eloise Rivers. Silence. Dead silence. I am Damien Rivers' mother. Someone in the back said, Jesus is Lord. Vanessa smiled, hyping herself. Mama Eloise continued calmly, gently, powerfully. Some of you know me as a CEO, but what you may not know is that for months I have been disguising myself as a poor old beggar. Gasps, murmurs, camera flashes. Why? She asked. To find out the truth about the kind of woman my son wants to marry. She turned her gaze to Vanessa. Vanessa's legs felt weak. My dear Vanessa here. Failed every test. The hall went silent, so silent even the AC stopped humming, she continued. At this same mall, she insulted me. She mocked my clothes. She pushed me. She told me I was worthless. Mama Eloise's voice didn't tremble. It didn't break. It was calm, almost too calm. She did not know the dirty old woman she slapped was the mother of the man she wants to marry. The crowd went crazy. Hands on heads. People stood. People screamed, ah! Vanessa couldn't breathe. Mama Eloise finalized, any woman who disrespects the poor does not deserve a good man. She turned to Damien. My son, she said softly, the truth is now in the open. The hall erupted with murmurs. Vanessa, here you go, pasted exactly as you wrote it with no editing at all. Vanessa couldn't breathe. Mama Eloise finalized, any woman who disrespects the poor does not deserve a good man. She turned to Damien. My son, she said softly. The truth is now in the open. The hall erupted with murmurs. Vanessa's entire future flashed before her eyes like a badly edited Nollywood montage. Damien Rivers stood there, calm, composed, shoulders straight like he practiced the pose the night before. He looked like every girl's prayer point. But his eyes were cold, icy, that so you really want to disgrace yourself today kind of look. And in front of him, trembling like a faulty generator, was Vanessa, her makeup still flawless, until tears started forming. Fake eyelashes already weaker than Nigeria's power supply. Damien's voice dropped, low, dangerous. Vanessa, is it true? The place went dead silent. Even the DJ removed his earpiece. Vanessa swallowed hard. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She looked at Damien like she wished the earth would swallow her with express delivery. "Damien, please let me explain." But Damien cut her off, louder this time. "Is it true?" Vanessa's throat burned, her legs wobbled. She looked down at her palms like the answers were written there. She whispered, barely audible, "Yes." The whole mall gasped. Influencers paused their recording. An auntie dropped her small chops. Someone muttered, "Ah, no!" Damien stepped back as if the confession slapped him. "So when you insulted that old woman today," he said, disbelief dripping from every word, "you weren't shocked, you weren't confused, you were just being yourself." Vanessa's heart stopped. That old woman, the one she called dirty-smelling nuisance, ruining the walkway of rich people, the same woman she told security to drag away, the same woman who was actually Damien's mother, disguised as poor old woman Vanessa, knelt instantly, gripping his hand. "Damien, I'm sorry. I was stressed. I was angry. I didn't know she was your mother." Damien yanked his hand away like she was fire. "So if she wasn't my mother, what then? You would still insult her? You would still treat her like she is nothing because she wore torn clothes?" He shook his head and actually laughed, painfully. "Vanessa, you want to change? How can you change what is inside? Pride is not makeup you can wipe off. Entitlement is not wig glue you can wash away." The crowd murmured. Someone shouted, "Tell her! Nonsense!" 2 influencers high-fived. Vanessa broke completely. She fell to both knees, crying loudly, mascara running like black tears of regret. "I love you, Damien," she wailed, but Damien was done. His face hardened. "No, you don't love me. You love the Rivers money. You love the fame. You love what standing beside me does for your Instagram followers, but you don't love me." He turned toward the guests, raised one hand and announced with a voice that echoed across Crystal Crest Mall, "The engagement is cancelled." Chaos. Phones up, paparazzi screaming, guests blowing small chops out of their mouths. Someone shouted, "Jesus! Plot twist!" Vanessa collapsed fully on the marble floor, crying so much the tiles were now running a charity water project. As the crowd dispersed, insults flew like Dangote trucks in high speed. "How can you talk to an elderly woman like that? She deserves it! Serves her right! You see your life?" Minutes later, the glamorous hall looked like a ghost town. Only 2 people remained, Vanessa Kingsley and her mother, Clarissa Kingsley. Clarissa's expression was pure heartbreak. She stood quietly beside her daughter, shaking her head. "I warned you," she said softly. "I warned you about this, your bad mouth. Did you listen? No, now see the result." "Mama," Vanessa's voice cracked, "what do I do now? How do I face anybody?" "You face them with humility," her mother replied. "You apologize to the people you showed pepper. You swallow your pride and grow up." Vanessa cried harder, shaking like a leaf forgotten in Harmattan breeze. "You didn't lose everything," Clarissa added gently. "You just lost the fake life you were chasing. Now, maybe you will find your real self." Clarissa lifted her daughter from the floor, wiped her tears, and slowly walked her out of the empty hall. Outside, the night breeze slapped Vanessa softly, like Lagos whispering, "Welcome to character development." Meanwhile, inside a sleek black Mercedes-Benz parked outside the mall, Damien sat beside his mother, now no longer Mama Eloise, but the elegant, wealthy, sharp-tongued Mrs. Eloise Rivers. For the longest time, nobody spoke. Finally, Damien sighed deeply. "Thank you, Mum." Mrs. Eloise raised a brow. "Thank you for what? For wearing clothes older than your father's patients? That girl insulted me like I was auditioning for the role of poor widow number 7. Damien chuckled despite himself. "You saved me," he said quietly. "You showed me her true heart." Mrs. Eloise softened. "I did what any mother would do. Love should see the soul, not the bank account." Damien nodded slowly. "One day," she added, patting his shoulder, "you will find a woman who sees you the way God sees your future, and I'll be here to celebrate." As the car drove through Victoria Island's quiet night, the city lights shimmered like they were listening to the gossip, already trending online. But one thing was clear. Tonight changed everything. For Damien, for Vanessa, and for whatever destiny was planning next. 6 months later, 6 months crawled by, slowly, painfully, like Lagos traffic on a Monday morning after rainfall. The public forgot a few scandals. Influencers moved on. Politicians created new distractions. Celebrities cooked fresh drama. But one person felt the full weight of those 6 months. Vanessa Kingsley. The once sparkling CEO of Vanessa Luxe Interiors, the babe whose Instagram feed used to blind people with luxury, suddenly became a ghost. No more events. No more red carpets. No more Hi Besties videos. No more paparazzi smiles. She simply disappeared. And Lagos people? Oh, they were happy to talk. Where that girl way insult billionaire mama, she no-day social media again. Humility is a strong medicine. Vanessa stayed inside the Kingsley Mansion, Victoria Island, a mansion big enough to get lost in and never be found. And honestly, that was exactly what she wanted to disappear. Her confidence? Scattered. Her pride? Evicted. Her reputation? On life support. Her love life? May her soul rest in perfect peace. The only people she saw were her mother, Clarissa, her driver, George, and the housemaids who now treated her with more pity than fear. But change, real change, had started working on her quietly. She spent time reading, volunteering secretly, designing free mini makeovers for orphanages, helping elderly women at Owalegba Market lift baskets, even learning how to say "Good afternoon, Ma" without her nose raised like Wi-Fi antenna. She was becoming someone else, a softer version of herself, a version Damien Rivers would never believe existed. On a bright Saturday morning, after months of hiding from the world, Clarissa walked into Vanessa's room. Her daughter sat by the window, sketching designs with soft classical music playing in the background. The girl had finally discovered calm. "My darling," Clarissa said gently, "don't you think it's time you face the world again?" Vanessa paused, sighed, and dropped her pencil. "Mummy, people still think I'm the devil's personal assistant. They will laugh." Clarissa chuckled. "My dear, Lagos people will laugh even if you wear angel wings. Face them anyway." Vanessa didn't respond. She just stared out the window at the busy VI streets, people moving, cars honking, life happening without her. 1 week later, she finally gathered the courage. She told George, her driver, "Let's go for a drive. Anywhere. Just not Crystal Crest Mall, please. My heart is not strong." George chuckled. "Yes, Ma. We will avoid that place like Nipa avoids stable light." He opened the door of the white Lexus and Vanessa stepped out. Simple dress, no makeup, no heels, no influencer energy, just her real self. As they drove through Victoria Island, Vanessa watched the world with new eyes, seeing people she never noticed before. The beggars, the hawkers, the tired mothers with babies strapped to their backs. Life was bigger than her old bubble. At a traffic light, an old woman tried to cross the road. Without thinking, Vanessa jumped out and helped her. The woman smiled. "God bless you, my daughter." Those words broke something inside her and healed something at the same time. Later that evening, George suggested they quickly stop at Crystal Crest Mall for bottled water and fuel station Suya. Vanessa froze. "That mall again, George? Do you want me to faint publicly? Because I can faint." "Madam, nobody will even recognize you." "Let me buy the water." But as fate would have it, as if the universe was holding her script with popcorn, Damien Rivers was already there that same moment. Not in a suit, not with security, just him in joggers and a simple t-shirt shopping with Mama Eloise. Vanessa saw them first. Her heart left her chest, climbed the escalator and nearly ran away. "Mummy Eloise," she whispered under her breath. George noticed the panic. "Ah, madam. Should I start the car?" "No." She swallowed hard. "No running today. I caused the problem. I should fix it." Before she lost courage, she walked up to them. Slow steps, shaky breath, palms sweating like she bathed in hot yam water. Mama Eloise noticed her first. Well, look who the cat dragged in," she said, folding her arms with the confidence of a retired army general. Damien turned. His eyes widened a bit. Not in anger, not in disgust. Just surprised. Vanessa bowed her head immediately. "Good evening, Ma." "Good evening, Damien." Her voice was soft, humble, unfamiliar even to her own ears. Mama Eloise raised a brow. "No high voice today? No, do you know who I am?" Vanessa smiled sadly. "That Vanessa died 6 months ago, Ma." For the first time in a long time, Damien's face softened. Vanessa continued, "Ma, I'm truly sorry. For the insult, for the pride, for everything. I was foolish, I was shallow, and I deserved every consequence. But I've changed. At least I'm trying to." Mama Eloise didn't reply immediately. She studied Vanessa like a tomato seller checking for rotten spots. Then she sighed. Well, humans can change. Even Akara can turn to beans powder. Apology accepted." Vanessa's eyes watered. "She's grateful, Ma. She turned to Damien next, expecting him to walk away, or roll his eyes, or give her that billionaire cold shoulder, but instead he gave a small smile. "You look different." "Life humbled me," she said with an embarrassed laugh. "And trust me, life is a very effective lecturer." Damien chuckled lightly. For the first time since the scandal, they stood there, not as enemies, not as ex-lovers, but as two human beings who survived something painful. There was no romantic reunion, no sudden kiss, no dramatic proposal. Just peace, forgiveness, a soft beginning of something healthier, even if it was just friendship. As Vanessa walked back to the Lexus, George asked, "How did it go, madam?" Vanessa smiled, genuinely. "It went well, George. For the first time in a long time, I feel free." The mall lights shimmer, Lagos night wind blows softly, and somewhere inside Vanessa's heart, a new chapter begins quietly. No longer the arrogant princess, just a woman learning grace, one day at a time. Hello, beloved besties. What a journey. Today's story reminds us that pride is a silent destroyer and respect is a universal language. No matter your class, your money, your designer shoes, or your accent, life can humble anybody. And when it does, if it humble you, well. Moral lessons. Treat everyone with respect. You don't know whose test you are writing. Humility will open doors that pride can never enter. A mistake doesn't end your story, but refusing to learn from it will. True change starts when you stop defending your wrongs and start correcting them. My beloved, if today's episode touched your heart, made you laugh, made you think, or even made you shout "Chai" at your screen, I beg don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, like as always. Subscribe for more sweet, dramatic, emotional Nigerian stories. And drop a comment in your own language. Tell me your favourite lesson from today. I love you all. See you in the next episode, besties. Bye!